Hello there. I'm the Biblical Translator, and I call myself that only because I take some text out of the Bible and I try to translate it in a form of way to make it into everyday language. And it's not even everyday language, it's my interpretation of how I can relate to the Bible, and hopefully you can too. And today we have people who what's the word? Who not acknowledge the Sabbath, but they actually recognize the Sabbath. Yeah, they recognize the Sabbath. And so when I met my partner, he said he keeps the Sabbath holy. And when he said that, I said, okay, I'll recognize that, I'll accept it, and it's not a big deal. It gives me a chance to do what I want to do. That's what I said in my head. Didn't say that to him. But what I noticed is that on a Sabbath, I thought the Sabbath was just a day of, worshipping God, fasting and meditating. I thought that's how people were supposed to use the Sabbath. But I think that is in the literal sense, and how in the Old Testament, the people like the Pharisees used to see the Sabbath, that you don't do anything at all. What he would always say to me is that if there's anything that needs to be done, or if you need me to do anything, I'll do it, even if it's on the Sabbath. And I thought, that sounds a bit strange. I thought you couldn't do any work on the Sabbath. And why am I bringing this up? Because more recently I've realized that that's not what the Sabbath is about. And when we look in Mark, we notice that when Jesus wanted to heal that man's hand, restore it, he said to them, is it best to do good on the Sabbath or evil on the Sabbath? And they didn't answer, and he was angered, and he restored that man's hand on the Sabbath, and they went away to plot to kill him. But it already preceded that by saying you can do good on the Sabbath. And he also says in Mark 3:27, then Jesus said to them, the Sabbath was made to meet the needs of people, not people to meet the requirements of the Sabbath. So the Son of Man is Lord even over the Sabbath. So it means that if we want to honor the Sabbath, we decide what we're going to do with it. And it was made because they wanted people to have a day of rest. Remember when all the shops were closed on Sunday? Well, you're probably too young to remember when all the shops were closed on Sunday. You would never get a shop open on a Sunday. I think the shops on a Saturday closed at 5 or something. But on Sunday, that was the day that they acknowledged as a day of rest. And so nobody could shop. People were forced to stay in the house or do whatever it was they wanted to do. But it was to force people to recognize that they needed a day for themselves. And what's happening now, especially now, you've got people who work around the clock, people who do nights, people who work 7 days a week, people who have 3 or 4 jobs. They don't have a day of rest, or if they do have moments of rest, it's interrupted by restlessness, thought of what they've got to get up and wear, what they've got to do, which job they've got to focus on. And people aren't resting. And even those people who are not working are not resting. It's like their minds are on the go all the time. So I believe the Sabbath is about not only resting the body, but resting the brain. Time to wind down and just think about what you've done in the week, how you can be a better person, your relationship with God, your relationship with others. And it meets your needs, but your needs are really to be about you. How to improve your health, how to wind down, how to cut down. And you should be using this, not you should, but it would be preferable for you to use a Sabbath as a way to think creatively how you can improve your life. If you can read the Bible, that's good too, because there's always words of wisdom in there. There's always little nuggets hidden between the words. And if you don't take that time out to sit and read it and just totally open your mind to it, you won't find those nuggets. Sometimes when I read the Bible, I can tell I'm forcing one of these videos. And another time I read the Bible and something jumps out at me and it's inspirational and it's something that most people pay attention to. There's not many of them. I think I've only had 2 or 3 that people have been really interested in. And that's because sometimes I try to force a video out of what I read and it's not inspired. And it's not because I haven't taken the time out. It might be even better if I just use the Sabbath. Say, I don't acknowledge the Sabbath. I have started having a day of rest on a Sunday. But and I do use it to read the Bible and do other things, but sometimes you don't even have to have that day of rest in order to feel inspired or spirit-led. Sometimes I just wake up, me personally, I wake up with a thought, and it can be any day, at any time. I wake up with a thought, and that's the thought I go with. And then I might research a little bit about it. But today I wanted to talk to you about the Sabbath. I know in these times people don't really follow the Sabbath. Some people think they don't have time. Some people just don't see it as a religious thing. And some people are acquainted with Seventh-day Adventist or Jehovah's Witness. And, the word Sabbath has a very, very strong it's a very, very strong name. And especially in the Jewish culture, it's revered. And Sabbath, whatever it is, whether it means Saturday or Sunday, there used to be some conflict about whether or not Sabbath means Saturday or Sunday. It doesn't matter. It could be a Tuesday. As long as you take a day to rest, to unwind, to give back to yourself. When you think about it, from the moment we wake up, we're giving. We're giving to others. We're giving to others from the moment we wake up. For me, I wake up, I make my partner's breakfast, I come into work, I'm serving the people I work for. If there's colleagues around, I'm serving them by socializing. If I go to the shop, I'm serving them by being a patron. If my daughters call, I'm serving them by being a mother. If my sisters send me a text or a WhatsApp because they live abroad, I'm serving them by responding. So I'm serving all the time. And then I take time to serve you guys because I take time to read the Bible, research, see what inspiration I can get, and I can share it with you. But I believe that in sharing with you, I too benefit. I'm still giving back to myself. And this is the most special moment of my day. When I'm doing these videos, when I'm learning more about the Bible, when I'm getting closer to God and when I'm getting closer to my audience. And yes, it's a new channel and it'll be very, very slow. I'm not worried about that. All I'm concerned about is that there is somebody out there who feels my videos are watch-worthy. And that I'm not just talking a load of rubbish. So sometimes it's lovely to get, most times it's lovely to get your comments. I do have a YouTube channel and it's called the Biblical Translator, and it'd be lovely if you could subscribe, regardless of what platform you're watching this on, probably TikTok. But it'd be lovely for you to subscribe to it and share it with other people. So let's honour a day for ourselves, whether you want to call it Sabbath or just a day of rest or just a Myrna day. I call it a me day. Sometimes I have a me day where I go off and I have a pamper day. And so it can just be a me day. But set some time aside for yourself. And I'm the Biblical Translator. Talk to you soon and bye-bye for now. Love you lots.